सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। We'll chant from verse number 7. आज्यधारया स्रोतसा समं सरलचिन्तनं विरलतः परम् भेदभावनात् सोऽहमित्यसौ भावनाभिधा पावनीमता भावशून्यसद्भावसुस्थितिः भावना बलात् भक्तिरुत्तमा रुस्थले मनस्वस्थता क्रिया भक्ति योग बोधाश्च निश्चितम् वायुरोधनात् लीयते मनः जालपक्षिवद्रोध साधनम् चित्तवायवश्चित्क्रियायुताः शाखयोर्द्वयी शक्तिमूलका लय विनाशने उभयरोधने लयगतं पुनर्भवति नो मृतम् प्राणबन्धनात् लीनमानसम् एकचिन्तनात् नाशमेत्यदः नष्टमानसोत्कृष्टयोगिनः कृत्यमस्ति किं स्वस्थितिं यतः दृश्यवारितं चित्तमात्मनः चित्वदर्शनं तत्वदर्शनं चित्वदर्शनं तत्वदर्शनं कर्तुराज्ञया प्राप्यते फलम् कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडम् कर्म किं परं कर्म तज्जडम्. Last time we saw pranabandhanat leenamanasam ekachintanat nashametyada. Pranabandhanam means holding the prana, regulating the prana, making this breathing in and breathing out, which is involuntary, converting into voluntary action. And we saw various permutation combinations. So that is prana bandhanam, holding on to breath, holding on to prana. Prana bandhanat leenamanas, mind gets absorbed. Mind can relatively achieve a state of thoughtlessness momentarily, because shakhayor dvayi shakti mulaka. The both of them, prana shakti and gnana shakti, they are like the two branches of the one trunk, and therefore each one affects the other. And so when prana is stopped relatively, mind also gets stopped as though. Or there may be a fear of death, sense of breathlessness can reduce the thought pattern, and ultimately you may find yourself to be relatively thoughtless. Now, this state of absorption, which we can call it, can be achieved in many ways. One can achieve this state of absorption out of bhakti also. Just because of sheer devotion for the Lord, person may be doing japa or maybe doing some puja or upasana, and then also he or she can achieve this relative state of absorption. Okay? Even in we are talking of absorption in meditation. But in day-to-day life, suppose you are deeply involved in some thinking, some issue, or your vision, if you are an idealistic or projecting or whatever, scientist or whatever, then also mind gets absorbed momentarily. But then all these absorption, and so you can achieve absorption by thinking also. You can, first of all, what we are talking here is absorption through pranayama. You can achieve absorption through pranayama, you can achieve absorption through bhakti, or you can get absorbed by thinking, just being lost in something. And you can achieve absorption with open eyes and ears also. Suppose you are sitting on a seashore, on a beach, and you are watching the sunset. You get absorbed, totally absorbed into the sunset. And you get so involved sometimes, somebody calls you, don't listen then. You're enjoying. And those states of absorptions are a state where your mind is relatively quiet. That thing that we have to learn here is quietude of mind doesn't remove ignorance. Quietude of mind doesn't guarantee the knowledge, doesn't produce knowledge. If I use the word produce, it cannot generate the knowledge. For any knowledge, you need to operate the means of knowledge. Proper and adequate means of knowledge. Then only the knowledge will takes place. Otherwise, we need not teach to children in the school. Teach them absorption and knowledge will follow. It doesn't happen that way. It doesn't happen. Otherwise, even Lord Krishna should not have taught to Arjuna. Bhagavan Krishna is called Yogeshwara, the greatest of the yogi. He also could have led Arjuna to absorption, did not teach whole Gita. And he was capable, like modern Swamis and Guru, touch it. And Kundalini Jagruti takes place. Kundalini awakes and you are in a deep meditation. And they use all these bhajans and all that, these meditators, fellows. It is only to create absorption, laya, and then you get absorbed. Krishna could have done without touching him also. Krishna could have done without music also. He was such a powerful person. But then he taught. Okay? Absorption of mind doesn't produce knowledge. And if you see Bhagavatam, all the gopis were absorbed in Krishna's love and flute. Even why Krishna, if you go to a good musician's program, you also get absorbed into it. You don't know any raga. You may not understand much of it, nuances of the tunes and then these matras and nothing, But you enjoy, you get absorbed. Gopis also used to get absorbed. But in spite of that absorption, they didn't become enlightened. Krishna himself, physically, God was there. And they had an absorption so-called samadhi born out of kundalini jagruti. Flute awakened their kundalinis, and they had that samadhi daily in Ras Leela and things like that. Lord Krishna had to send Uddhava. It is there in Bhagavatam to teach them. So, point is, all these examples, I am driving home this point. Any kind of absorption cannot generate knowledge. And if you are ignorant, you continue to be ignorant in spite of absorption. And therefore, this person who gets absorbed, laya vinashane, prana bandhanat leena manas. It can be absorbed, but then to destroy the mind, you need to have ekachintanat nashamet. That is where tradition is necessary. If you keep merely asking, who am I, who am I, who am I? Like last time I told you, like submarine theology, self will not surface. Even if it surfaces, somebody third person has to tell and come and tell you, this is your Atma. Sometimes when you don't know somebody, that person may be in front of you, but then still you may be talking with that person, but someone else has to introduce, oh, you are that. It has happened a couple of times to me. Somebody told me, we were in some meeting and then they said that we were discussing and I was just sitting and just supporting the discussion. And suddenly the person who was leading the discussion, he told the gentleman, hey, you know this Swami? He says, no, I don't. He said, this is Swami Paramatmananda. Oh, you are Paramatmananda. I have heard about you and I have read you and I have heard anyone. I was right in front of him. So, even if Atma comes right in front of him, the fellows in meditation, suppose he gets to see Atma in meditation, some third Atma has to come and tell, this is the Satchidananda Atma you are looking for. Then this fellow, oh, this is Satchidananda Atma. This is also Atma. Atma means eye. How many eyes are there? There are only one eye. The seer eye is the same seen eye. There is no two eyes. But then they take it. So here you need a tradition. The means for knowing the self is words. Why the words? Words cannot give you direct knowledge. They always give you indirect knowledge. Like your description. Suppose I describe you my experience of Argentina. You would not know what did Swamiji is saying and how is this and what was that. And you may not know. And suppose to Argentinians I describe how is India and my ashram and all that. They will not know the whole thing. It may be indirect knowledge. But when the vastu, the thing to be known, is right with you and still not recognized, then the words are the means. It is right with you. Our good old Pujya Swamiji's example, the glasses, he took the reading glass like this, and then after talking to somebody, he asked, where are my glasses? Where are your glasses? The glasses are Nitya Prapta. Nitya Prapta means ever accomplished. This is right with you. You just need to recognize and somebody has to tell, oh, look at your that is that is Atma-Gnana. When you say is Atma-Gnana. Anyway, coming back to this, when the vastu that you are seeking is yourself, self is always obtained, always accomplished. You are never away from the self. And that being a case, only words can reveal, and for the words to reveal, teacher context. Only when proper context is created, that is where you need a traditional teacher. Otherwise, words have unique capability to be misinterpreted. Not understood, can be partly understood, or can be understood just the opposite to what it is saying. There you need a teacher. Therefore says, Tad Vijnanartham Guru Meva Vigacche. When one has to go to a teacher, and then that as Swamiji would say, uninformed mind, ignorant mind will always be sane before meditation or after meditation. And even if you see the self, but then the self is seen as individual, the self which is not separate, or the self which is total, and the whole is not away from myself, that recognition takes place only through teaching. Okay? Please understand this fundamental difference. This modern yogis think thoughts are the problem. And when you are thoughtless, then you realize the self. They want to get rid of the thoughts. And I have said earlier, the state of thoughtlessness is also nitya prapta. Why I say nitya prapta? Because every night you are thoughtless. When you sleep, you are thoughtless. But when you wake up, you don't wake up enlightened. Okay? That being the case, the state of thoughtlessness is not enlightenment, it's a quiet mind. But quiet mind is not wiser mind. Quiet idiot continues to be idiot. Only difference is the fellow was agitated idiot. Now he becomes a quiet idiot. An agitated idiot, not necessarily hyperactive. Agitated can be here also. The fellow may be so angry. I want to teach them a lesson, blah, 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 all kinds of things may be going on in his mind. So it doesn't solve the problem. Anyway, the problem is we give reality to the mind. And that reality is to be destroyed. The fallacy of giving reality to mind is to be seen. And when you see that fallacy, that is called nashtamanas. Okay? The sloka says, Pranabandhanat lina manasam ekachintanat nashamet. Ekachintana. And that reality given to mind is destroyed when you know ekam vastu. Eka vastu means a non-dual thing. When you know the self which is non-dual, then the reality is falsified. And here you have no choice in knowledge if you want to solve the problem. And how do you remove the reality given to mind? That is talked about in the next verse. Okay? Look at the next verse. 15th verse. Nashtamanasotkrushtayoginah krutyamasti kim swastitim yatah. Nashtamanasotkrushtayoginah krutyamasti kim swastitim yatah. Karturagnaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam. Nastamanasaha yoginaha. And that too adjective to yogi, utkrushta yoginaha. Nashtamanasa utkrushta yoginaha. The Utkrishta means most exalted yogi. You can say, this modern jargon I would use, the divine yogi. for a divine yogi, who is this divine yogi? Nastamanasaha. Manasaha, whose mind is nashtaha, is lost. One who has destroyed the mind. So this exalted yogi, the one who has destroyed his mind, Krutyamasti kim? Is there anything to be done by him? To be done. Krutyam means to be done. Karma means to do. When they say krityam, means something to be done, ought to be done. Is there anything ought to be done? Meaning thereby there is nothing that he ought to do. There is nothing he has to do. Krutyam nasti. Why? Yataha. Yataha means for or since. Since swasthitim. Swasthiti. Swa means swarupa. Sthitim abides. He abides in himself. So this exalted yogi who is abiding in himself, and the one who has destroyed his mind by ekachintanat, there is nothing to be done. There is nothing which is ought to be done or has to be done, is nothing like that. That means he is free from any kind of kartavyam. Okay? This person is free from anything that is to be done, must be done. That sense of doership, compelling doership is not there. Now, please understand what is nashtamanasa. Okay? And what is there? Ekachintanat nashamityada. All those words, I had to explain them, but now I thought I'll explain it here when it completes this year. Please understand, Nashtamanasaha doesn't mean the fellow has no mind. Okay? When the person has no mind, that means he or she has no emotions. No compassion, no love, no care, nothing. As they say, stoned-minded fellow. Stone. You stone the mind. Make it stone. No, that is not. The wise man will have mind. That mind which will feel the emotions. The mind which will have the desires. Okay? It is not that he or she will become desireless. That is also we need to understand. What do we mean by freedom from desires? He will have mind, he will feel it, and he will be feeling more than normal because being more sensitive person, and then how it is nashta. It is looked into two ways. We say the mind is a problem. Okay? Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshaya. Mind alone is a means or is a cause for bondage and freedom for human beings. How? See, we are gifted with a very evolved mind. When I say mind, I mean antakaranam. Please understand. We have very evolved antakaranam, which we have seen in Tattva Bodha, functionally is called by four different names. These divisions are functional. Manaha, Buddhi, Chittam and Ahankara. Or sometimes two divisions. Buddhi and Manaha. Buddhi includes Ahankara, Manas includes Chittam. So human mind, Antakaranam, is so evolved that self-consciousness, self-awareness is complete. And not only self-awareness, there is a self-judgment. There is a self-estimation. I am this much and I am this, etc. Animals and birds also have that self-awareness. Please understand. They are conscious about their species, what they are. But they don't know they are cat and dogs. We call them cat. And then we know the pedigree of the cat. that self-consciousness or self-awareness is limited to survival. They are conscious of their food, what to eat, where to eat, how to eat. They are conscious of survival, where to live and how to. Birds know they will go on the top. They will not sit on the floor at night. So let's night, let me sleep here. No, they know. Monkeys also know. They know their food, they know their way, lifestyle, and they know their bhayasthanani, from whom to be afraid of. What is a danger for me? Then they will not get into that. This much. But that seems that there is no self-judgment about themselves. An owner of a dog or owner of a cat may have so much of love and pride for possessing this particular pedigree. So I've seen some of the people in US talking with their pet. You look so sweet and I love you and all that. The poor dog is just looking and watching what the master is doing. Doesn't know why they love me. And sometimes their children pull the ears and pull the legs, and they out of love, small children to the dog, it is helplessly watching. Human being has self-judgment. That judgment is because of the buddhi. And what is the judgment? Aham dukhi is a judgment. Not simply dukhi, aham mahadukhi. Not that I am dukhi, but nobody like me. Nobody is unhappy like me. Nobody has problems like me. I am the one who has maximum problems. I am the one who has maximum issues. And therefore, human heart has a complaint for the God, about the God also. God has not been kind to me, they say in English. Why should he be unkind? I don't know. Whether he knows how to be unkind, that is also my question. God. But then he says, no, he is unkind to me. But this is the feeling that one carries all the time about oneself. I am not okay. Swamiji would say, the self-judgment based, this self-complex, I am not okay, I am not up to the mark. Animals don't seem to have. He would give a typical example. A cow with a very sharp and well grown of horns. Both the horns and symmetrical manner, they have grown up. Height is also good, length is good. And there is another cow whose one horn is like this, another one is like this. He would gesture it also. Swamiji would figure it out. One horn like that. The cow not having a properly shaped horns doesn't have a complex and doesn't go to beauty parlor or an orthopedic surgeon to fix this horn. It's okay. And the other one, having a good horns, doesn't have a sense of superiority. I am somebody and I am nobody. That somebody is also relatively, but when he is with herself, she will have nobody sense. You just need a human mind. If you put a human mind in cow's body, she will not sit quiet. That's a human problem. So, nashtamanas. And that self-judgment about myself, me being only this much, I am limited in terms of time, space and objectivity. Parichinno aham. I was born on such and such a day and I will die on such and such a day and I have very limited knowledge and my capabilities are limited and I am only this much, etc., etc. So many. this sense of limitation centered on I, a sense that I am not okay with myself, sense of not being at home with myself, sense of incompleteness, sense of dukhi, all these meaning the same. That is born out of self-ignorance. Nashtamanasaha. The mind that is destroyed means the mind with ignorant mind is destroyed. The ignorance of the mind is destroyed. Not mind per se. When the ignorance is destroyed, then you have a simple mind. It's okay, you use the mind. When your self-estimation, look at this example. So I've seen many people. When your self-estimation, self-judgment, self-image is based on your body, based on your dress, based on your looks, that is one thing. That person will be very conscious about dressing and things like that. And I have seen the same person, when they grow old, children shout at the grandmother, "Grandma, wear some decent clothes." Even my mother was saying, she had one those big bag, patara, some for 30, 40 saris. All those days, the Banarasi, I didn't know what it was, but she had good number of saris kept there. But when she was 60 plus and all that, and we have to go somewhere, she will wear a simple sari. That we call it Desi Sadlo. That's the right word in Gujarati. And then children used to say, my brothers said, grandchildren, "Grandma, wear some good." This is okay. And then sometimes they used to shout at it. Then she would say, "If you are ashamed of me, don't take me with you. I'm not coming." That fellow was teenager. He wanted to take grandma with his friend somewhere and wanted her to be presented properly. She doesn't bother. For her, the sari, then she used to, these words are imprinted in. Then he says, "I have covered my body." Sari dakyu jai, enathi badar su kam chhe. She will have covered my body, clothes are meant for that. Go on, shut up, let's go. So then body and the sari is a simple means to cover the body. There is no self-estimation based on what you wear. Understand? Because the body awareness, that image based on her look and body is not there much as it was, or maybe, I don't know, because when she was young, I was not born, but in her young age, what she might have had it. Similarly, wise man has a simple mind. What they call it, antahkaranam. It's an instrument to deal with the world, to take decisions, to give opinions if necessary. I have to add that. To feel the relationship, conduct relationship, express the emotions, to storehouse of memories, which is to be used for future activity, all that. But then there is no I sense that I am incomplete and limited. That is called nashtamanasa. Understand? The ignorance centered on I, the self-opinion, the self-judgment, self-estimation, which was born out of ignorance, is destroyed, is equivalent to destroying the mind. Okay? There is only one loss of ignorance. Nashtamanasa. And that is why this person is called Utkrishta Yogina, most exalted yogi. Why exalted, most exalted? The destruction of ignorance can take place only when the knowledge takes place. Ignorance is opposed to knowledge only. And nothing else can destroy ignorance. Therefore, like a darkness, ignorance is equated to darkness. In a cave or in a dark room, you use everything. All possible weapons you use. You know, you have AK-56 and swords and everything. But nothing can remove the darkness. You just need a matchstick, then darkness is gone. So, the fire of knowledge alone will destroy or burn the ignorance, and that ignorance being destroyed, ignorance born, ahankara, or the ego is gone. And the mind that is free from ego, ahankara, is called nashtamanasa. Here, I would like to add, what is ego? You know, generally they also, I find people fairly confused about it. Keep talking, you have to remove the ego and be free from ego and destroy the ego. That fellow was talking, I said, what is ego? Please tell me. Then I will think of destruction. Ego is I, but what is that I? Sense of doership and enjoyership. Kartrutva, bhoktrutva, ahankara. Sense of being limited is jiva. And the jiva is superimposed on the self. It is not independent thing. Okay? The jiva is superimposed on a consciousness. And you discover the swarupa of ahankara is nothing but consciousness. Satchidanando aham asmi. That discovery itself is nashtamanasa. And that is utkrishta yoginaha. Ultimate yoga is to discover the self. Yoga means yuja, to join. One has to join in the figurative. You have not to join because you are already joined, you know. Otherwise, you need welding. Joining the two things, then you have to have joined by fire. This fellow, a typical villager, didn't know much of English. So he told his friend, after 10 days, please come, my welding is there. मारू वेल्डिंग है तो आपसे मेरा वेल्डिंग है 10 दिन बाद तू आ जाना. Then he said, what? He says welding. Then he says what? Then he gave his marriage invitation card. The fellow said it is not welding, it is wedding. Then this fellow said it is only same. In welding also two things join. In wedding also two things join. But then, so it is same. My welding and wedding is same. That fellow said, there is a hell of a difference. In welding, there are sparks before you join. In wedding, every day there are sparks after you join. ગુજરાતી બોલે જોડાયા પછી તણખા જરે ઓલામાં જોડાતા પહેલા જરે તારે શાંતિ બોલ વેડિંગ. Anyway, it is not joining, okay? It's a figurative. Because the one is mithya and one is satyam. How can mithya and satyam join? How can the rope and the snake join? And that snake is superimposed on the rope. It cannot join with the rope. It is already joined. In fact, the snake is never away from the rope, if it is a rope snake. Its existence is because of rope. Its shape is because of rope. Anyway, coming back to this, that is joining as two. Means recognizing myself. Aham Satchidananda Asmi. And when the ignorance disappears in the wake of knowledge, you discover yourself to be Purnatma, the self which is complete, the self which is full. Here, earlier in Tattva Bodha I had mentioned, please understand the word Sukham or Ananda or fullness or Shanti, peace are synonyms. Okay? Satchidananda, existence, consciousness and bliss. That's not the right. Bliss may create misunderstanding about Atma. Right word is completeness, fullness. In fact, every experience, even if it is a momentary sensual experience, gives you sense of fullness. So Ananda is fullness. And there you are in peace. Even if you may be active, but you have peace. So the point is, when the self which is Purna is discovered in the wake of what? The knowledge, the ignorance being removed, there is nothing to be done. There are two types of to be done. Okay? To be done are of two categories. One category is sense of duty. I ought to do. Now that duty comes to the karta, one who thinks I am so and so. Veda says Brahmana should do this. But who will do? One who takes himself as Brahmana. Veda says Grahastha should do this. A married person must do this. Who will do this? One who takes himself to be a Grahasti, to be a Vanapasti, to be sannyasi. So when there is a sense of doership, then is some kartavya karma, something to be done, enjoined action, duty action. And secondly, one is pushed to act, or one is motivated to act, or propelled to act, when there is a desire. A strong desire. There may be hundreds of fancies in the mind, but when there is a strong desire to have something, and having had that I can become happy and I want to enjoy it, that bhokta is there, then so many things to be done. And that often is born out of, all the time, bhokta is born out of incompleteness, insufficiency. So each individual has a long list of desires to be fulfilled. There's a long list of things to be done, Nowadays, many people tell me, Swamiji, this lockdown has really helped us. I said, how lockdown helped you? He says, so many relations got revived. I had some 25 years old, my friend. I had number of my college friend, and I talked to him, and I talked to my one lady of 58 years old. She told me, one other girl, we grew up in the same society. One of my friend, we were going to same school up to 12th standard. We were traveling together, and then we branched off into university, and slowly the connection dropped off and fizzled out, and we got married, and etc., etc. And suddenly I remembered her and called her. And then they say, I was remembering you 2-3 times. I thought of calling you when I met this person and that person. So for last 15 years, she wanted to call us. The call got done. Krutyam asti kim, korona sthitim yatha. All pending calls, all pending things get done because there is a person who wants to connect. Everybody has a long list of things to do. only a wise person is free from any list to do in spite of doing. It's just doing swasthiti. Since I have to live the life, that Sarira Yatra Pina Prasiddhyet Akarmana. For the journey of the body, I have to do something. I have some capabilities, both in terms of knowledge and resources. So why not I do that? But then there is a difference. An ignorant person may have agenda. And apparently it may look that wise person also has an agenda. They say, Swamiji also had an agenda to open hostels in all districts, had an agenda to work like this, had an agenda to do this in the national level, etc., etc. So many things. Chinmayanji also often used to say, I have opened this much, and I want to open so many schools and build so many ashrams and blah, blah, blah. They also seem to have agenda. What's the difference? Wise man has a desire, ignorant man has also desire. Pratyamastikim. In which sense wise person is free from desires? This also needs to be understood properly. We will see that in detail in second chapter again. But just now I will tell you, see, it is not that after the knowledge, wise person will not have any desires. Even Shankaracharya had a desire. Therefore, he traveled length and the breadth of the country. Therefore, he wrote. Vyasji also had a desire. Therefore, he wrote all the Puranas and commentaries and wrote Brahma Sutras and collected all the Veda mantras. Therefore, he did. Nobody. Even Krishna had a desire to teach Arjuna. Krishna had a desire, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya duskrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavam. It's a desire. There is a difference. Classic example is Swami Shivananji, when he established Divine Life Society, Shivananda Ashram, Rishikesh. Shivananji had a desire to open a hospital, and any doctor who just finished his medicine also may have desire to open a hospital. But inside, there is a hell of a difference. Swami has a desire to open hospital because I happen to be doctor in Purvashrama. In Rishikesh, Haridwar, there is no hospital, people and sadhus need some medical care. So why not I do it? But by building a hospital, Swami doesn't have a sense, I am somebody, I am a owner of the hospital. I am just doing seva. But other doctor may have, I have 5-story hospital with 20 beds and so many rooms and so many things he may boast. Because the desire is centered on I. Desire fulfillment is for fulfillment of aham. Whereas wise person's desire is loka sangraha, for the betterment of society, nothing to do with I, because I am purnaha, I am complete. What kind of completeness? Apuryamanam machala pratishtam samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kama pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakama. Fullness is equated to that of an ocean. Cusacs of water come through rivers and they pour into ocean. The ocean is full, therefore it is not improvable. In monsoons, so much of rain and so much of water come. Doesn't mean the seashore came a little further up to the town. And in summer, there is a drought and the rivers stop flowing the water, pouring the water into ocean. Doesn't mean the ocean went away a little further. Doesn't happen. Thank God doesn't happen. Otherwise in Bombay, if it happens once, next year you will have apartments in the ocean. In Bombay and New York, they will build apartments. They just need space to build. Anyway, coming back to this, Purnatva. And that's the difference. When the rivers come and pour water to oceans, so also wise men may have desires fulfilled or objects coming to him. Then small puddle of water, when poured, it gets overflowed, it gets dried up. That kind of feeling is not there for a wise person. Pratyam asti kim swasthitim yataha. He is equally full with or without the world, with the possessions and without the possession. There is no agenda centered on I. There is nothing to do to improve the self-image, to improve my self-estimation. Nothing is to be done. And that is why it is said, Nashta Manasaha, his mind is emptied of all kinds of notions which are centered or which are born out of ignorance. Ignorance born notion free mind, that is empty mind, and all the problems are solved. Therefore nothing is to be done. Doesn't look upon himself or herself as a doer, so there is no obligatory action to be done, and doesn't look upon himself or herself as an incomplete person. Nothing to be done, to be achieved, to feel complete, to feel at homeness. Without also he is at home, and with also the person is at home. Therefore, nashta manasaha krutyamasti kim. That is called swasthitim yata. Since he is abiding in himself, the self which is full, the self which is complete, the self which is happiness, self which is peace, the same self, talked as through different words from different perspective. He discovered that, and therefore nast. Okay? And then he further explains how the mind is destroyed in the next verse. We'll take it up tomorrow. If I start, it has to go. We'll see it tomorrow. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.